That is the question we aim to solve today. With the top 10 nations removed, we will be starting a global world war. Now, to show you who is now the top 10, first far and away is Greenland, followed by the DR Congo. Mexico is in third, Mongolia in fourth, Indonesia in fifth, Saudi Arabia in sixth, Sudan in seventh, Libya eighth, Iran ninth, and Angola 10th. We'll get started here and see who comes out on top. We have a number of victims falling right away. Ecuador, Kosovo, Timor, Iraq, and Estonia are all out of this one. Syria now conquered by Jerusalem. We are just seeing pure chaos right here as many countries are falling immediately. It has been absolute chaos this first 100 years as we have lost many nations. But to get you caught up, our top 10 still remains Greenland number 1, DR Congo 2, Saudi Arabia has jumped up to 3, Iran is now up to 4, Mexico has fallen to 5th, Indonesia 6th, Mongolia 7th, 8th is Colombia, 9th is Sudan, and 10th is Libya. Now, when we look at our alliances, we have a lot of alliances to speak of. The biggest is the Sudan's League, which is Sudan, Ethiopia, and Uganda all working together. Operation Mongolia is Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan. And Operation UAE is the UAE and Iran. So again, about 30 nations have fallen. We'll check in and see how things start to develop from here. But right away, we can see that Greenland is off to a great start, having already conquered their neighbor Iceland. Nepal doing the Lord's work, pushing back 2 enemies at the same time. Looks like Bangladesh is about to fall, and indeed they do. You may be looking, why is this so awkward right here? Well, there's no China and there's no India. There's just Nepal. And Nepal continues this warpath. Pakistan is down. Nepal is becoming a real kingmaker here. He's just absolutely executing all of his neighbors. Oh, and Saudi Arabia has fallen to Qatar. Qatar has taken out Saudi Arabia. Denmark was conquered by Sweden. And in the year 200, 115 nations remain. Greenland still in first place. Iran has jumped up into second place. DR Congo has fallen to third. Indonesia, Mongolia, Colombia, Chad, Libya, South Sudan, and South Africa wrap up our top 10. So we have had some big fallers here. Mostly Mexico has continued to keep falling. As you can see, they've had nothing but problems and are on the brink of being eliminated by Guatemala. Now down here in South America, it is Bolivia's game to win or lose. They are the largest on their continent. Africa, still a toss-up. The DR Congo holding true, but not really expanding that much. And everyone has to worry about France coming down into Africa. Other than that, the United Kingdom is the real power play here in Europe. In the Middle East, obviously, it is Iran that we look for. But Qatar and Turkey could play spoilmaker there. In the Pacific, we have Indonesia dominating the leaderboard here, controlling most of the land. But Philippines and Japan also putting up strong fights. And there is a large coalition of friends over here with Laos, Thailand, and Malaysia all united. And South Korea has united the land of Korea, now having to fight the Mongol invasion. The Mongols are slowly pushing them back. They have a little bit more territory than South Korea. South Korea sandwiched between Mongolia and Japan is going to be, oh my goodness, Thailand has fallen to Myanmar. So Thailand out of this one, weakening that alliance. But Laos has added Vietnam quickly as a new friend. They realize they are not long for this world unless they add some friends. And Mexico has fallen to Guatemala. Cuba now fighting against the powerhouse that once was Greenland. The United Kingdom also falling to France. France really emerging as the powerhouse in Europe, going both north and south. Greenland having to fight off a number of players at this point. And Nepal out for blood. Looks like they're going to take out Myanmar, and they do. They are also pushing against Mongolia and Sri Lanka at the same time, but Nepal continues to get bigger and bigger as the real threat here in Asia goes down to either Mongolia or Nepal. Nigeria in a bit of trouble, and down they go as Cameroon has taken out Nigeria. It is now taking the fight to Niger. Niger out of command points. They might lose their capital. Oh, they are 1 pixel away from losing it all, but Cameroon could have gotten a lot more land there very quickly if it kept up the fight a little bit longer. And they re-up their fight, and Cameroon does, in fact, take out Niger. Niger out of this one. And in the year 561 nations remain. Now, Greenland, far and away still in first place, has been losing ground to the combined efforts of Guatemala, Portugal, France, and Sweden, all taking turns in attacking Greenland. Greenland, out of command points right now, is in a very vulnerable spot. Second place is Colombia, who recently took out Mexico and has conquered the entire Caribbean. Third place belongs to Iran, who looks to be restarting the Persian Empire, taking out a number of their neighbors and conquering most of the Middle East. Fourth place belongs to Cameroon. We just watched them take out Nigeria and Niger. Ethiopia is in fifth place. DR Congo has fallen to sixth place. Morocco is in seventh place. Eighth place is Guatemala. Ninth place is Nepal. 10th place is the Central African Republic. Now, when we look at alliances, we have the Mongolian Union, which is Mongolia, Tajikistan, and Iran all allied together. The second place alliance is the Treaty of Central African Republic, which is the Central African Republic, Cameroon, and Rwanda. Third place belongs to Operation Djibouti, which is Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. Greenland in a bit of trouble. Sweden and France both attacking, both making significant ground against Greenland. Greenland about to lose Iceland and about to lose all of its northern sea territories, as France has touched down on Greenland proper. Greenland finally able to get the command points up a little bit, but not before ceding a ton of land. And the DR Congo was conquered by Cameroon. Cameroon claiming another victim here, really making themselves out to be rather large here in Africa, as the powerhouses in Africa really come down to Cameroon, the CAR, and Angola. And in a stunning move, Japan and South Korea have united into each other, looking like they're going to try and combine to take down Mongolia together. A strong move for their sakes, as they have not really progressed much in this game other than taking out North Korea. But Nepal is in a bit of trouble. Speaking of Mongolia, Mongolia is starting to push against Nepal with its allies of Tajikistan and Iran. The triple team is proving a little bit too much for Nepal, as they've ceded a number of land but able to survive, at least for now. France is starting to knock off Austria, who knocked off Czechia, who knocked off Germany, as Austria is in a lot of trouble. France is knocking on their door. Will they be able to get to the capital? Yes, but Austria has a second capital, and down falls Austria. France now taking the fight to Slovakia and emerging as the real powerhouse here in Europe. Tanzania in a lot of trouble, as Zambia is starting to push them back. Tanzania has lost one of their capitals. They only have one left. Now, they do have a ton of gold, but half as much as Zambia, who continues to keep encroaching on their territory. Doesn't look good for Tanzania, as they look to be quite out of this one. And Nepal has fallen to the triple entente of Tajikistan, Iran, and Mongolia, all knocking them down. But Tajikistan is not done, as it sets its sights on Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka getting pushed back all the way to their island proper before having to peace out. It's not looking good for Sri Lanka either. And the Philippines, in a surprise move, were taken out by Indonesia. I thought the Philippines would put up a little bit more of a fight, as they had a good chunk of land and been able to hold that for the entire game. But no, quickly dispatched by Indonesia along with the Solomon Islands. Looks like it's just New Zealand with what little territory they do have left in this bottom right corner. Indonesia once again emerging as a true champion in one of these games. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an upset alert. Montenegro has taken out France. They stormed through Europe, taking out France, now setting their sights on Ukraine. Montenegro, one of the smallest countries in Europe, is now the entirety of Europe. Ukraine has fallen to Montenegro. Who will be able to stop Montenegro as they continue their warpath, once again fighting Georgia just to continue pushing out? Zambia was destroyed by Angola. Angola owns almost the entirety of South Africa now. They are very large with 14,000 gold to their name and some very weak allies around them. They could really do some damage here. And checking in on Central and South America, looks like Guatemala has fallen to Colombia. Colombia really consolidating a lot of power over here in South America, but Bolivia is not out of this one yet. They also have a ton of territory and have also touched down here in Africa. Cambodia, consolidating their power, has taken out Laos and is now the sole power in Southeast Asia, as Japan has started to push back Mongolia, touching down on Mongolia proper. Looks like that alliance between South Korea and Japan is paying a little bit of dividends here. Japan, once again renewing their hatred towards Mongolia, are on the warpath. Mongolia just now able to get up its command points, so it will survive this, but has sacrificed a lot of land to defend themselves from Japan. Jordan taking out Georgia and Azerbaijan in quick succession over here is rather powerful themselves. When you look at the gold in this region, Jordan by far has the most at 10,000. Second place belongs to Iran with 5,000. But hold on here, Mongolia was conquered by Japan. Japan taking out the prized Mongolia, gaining a ton of land and propelling themselves into a strong position. And in the year 1035 nations remain. And in first place, which is a surprise, nobody, is Angola, who is the kings of South Africa, allying themselves with Cameroon and South Sudan. Greenland has fallen to second place, even though they have a strong coalition of friends with Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. Fortunately, able to get that alliance with Portugal, who had been eating away at their eastern front. Third place belongs to Colombia, who's done a great job consolidating power here in Central and South America. Fourth place belongs to Cameroon, again allied with Angola and South Sudan. Fifth place, the real shocker in this one, is Montenegro, conquering all of Europe minus their allies of Latvia, Bulgaria, and Greece. Sixth place is Indonesia, who has consolidated most of the south. They still have a little bit to go down here in New Zealand, but other than that, they have an alliance with Japan, allowing them to really push out into the west. Seventh place is Egypt, who has been getting pushed back, but is relying on their sugar daddy of Jordan to give them a lot of money. They're also allied with Lebanon. Eighth place is Japan, once again anchored by that alliance with Indonesia, allowing them to consolidate their borders. Ninth place is Qatar, and 10th place is Mauritania, allied to Senegal, and they are not in the best of places. They are having to deal with Bolivia knocking on their door. Iran has started to fall down here due to Kuwait really expanding. We'll have to keep an eye on them. Mauritania in a bit of trouble here themselves, as Morocco has been consolidating and pushing them down. Portugal has also joined from the north. Mauritania very close to losing their capital as well. And in a shocking turn of events, Greenland was able to hold on to a sliver of land over here and are now absolutely running through Colombia. Colombia out of command points, even though they have a ton of gold, have ceded almost the entirety of Mexico and the Caribbean islands to Greenland. Greenland really trying to push themselves back up into first place. Now, they won't be able to take out Colombia because Colombia does have two more capitals down here, but a humongous blow to Colombia, as it looks like they are going to lose their original capital right here unless they're able to secure a peace. And in fact, no, they do lose that, having been pushed back. Colombia, a shadow of themselves. Speaking of people in the danger zone, Cambodia has had to fall back to their secondary capital, but Indonesia is not deterred. They continue their push. Cambodia down to their final capital, getting pushed up by Japan and Indonesia, but Indonesia definitely coming out ahead of this one with a lot of command points, is really pushing back Cambodia. And that is it for Cambodia. Indonesia claims another victim for its mantle. And in a stunning turn of events, Morocco is running through Montenegro. Morocco almost took out the behemoth of Montenegro. Montenegro ceding almost all of France and Germany and Italy in one swift blow. Everything turned very upside down very quickly for Montenegro, as Morocco once again starts their warpath, but Montenegro has a number of capitals to their name as well. They do lose their first capital. Unfortunately for Montenegro, all their capitals are in very close proximity to each other, and down goes Montenegro. Morocco capturing all of that territory and continuing their war front against Greece, and Greece has also fallen. And Iran is falling to Kuwait. Kuwait was able to take them out. Now Tajikistan able to get there quickly and take a ton of their land. Bulgaria was also captured by Jordan. Jordan holding onto a sliver of their land. They've also ceded land to Kuwait, but have been able to make it up in Turkey and Europe. And this is a swan song from Mauritania, as they are falling along with Senegal, as Morocco continues its warpath. And there goes both of them. Morocco with 61,000 gold and advanced command points is going to be a huge threat to the board. And the once proud nation of Angola is losing land, but just kidding, here they come back pushing against South Africa, who I was certain was out of this. They had only the smallest sliver of land, but Angola has been in a lot of trouble. Here comes Ethiopia now pushing against Angola and Cameroon, making a little bit more progress against Cameroon than Angola, as Ethiopia does have high command points, command efficiency, and they are really putting it to work here, as if they could take out Cameroon and Angola, they would become the kings of Africa in one swift war. And that looks like what their goal is here, as that is Cameroon Cameroon's got 3 more capitals. I don't think Angola has another, and in fact they don't. Angola has fallen. Madagascar getting the angle there, grabbing a lot of the land along with South Africa, but Ethiopia eating up the entirety of Central Africa. And Jordan taking their revenge on Kuwait has started to push them back. Kuwait down to their last capital, and down falls Kuwait. Jordan emerging as the real king here in the Middle East, but Tajikistan is challenging them for that title. Egypt on their final swan song as they bid you adieu. They are out of this one as Cameroon has taken them out. Oh no, this is trouble for Tajikistan, getting pushed back by Oman. Oman is about to, yes, in fact they do. Tajikistan has fallen right before the year 1500. Now, as we take a look at the world in 1500, we have 21 nations remaining after Tajikistan was taken out. Greenland has reclaimed their rightful place as the world's #1, although significantly smaller than they once were. But after taking out Colombia, that was a well-deserved #1 place. Second place, also well-deserved, is Morocco, eating away at all of Europe here, making some real damage, but fighting a little bit against Jordan. Maybe have met their match. Ethiopia is in third place after taking out Angola and is also knocking on the doors of Cameroon. Cameroon is in fourth place, but is anchored by their alliances with Madagascar and South Africa. Indonesia is in fifth place, but has really started to slow down here against the might of Madagascar and their ally in Japan blocking the way. Sixth place is Oman, shockingly taking out Tajikistan right before the break. Seventh place is Madagascar. Eighth place is Jordan. Ninth place is Japan, and 10th place is South Africa. Now, when we look at the alliances, the Morocco Union is far and away #1. Morocco, Portugal, and Spain, along with Greenland, is a very mighty force. Second place belongs to the South Africa Coalition, which is South Africa, Madagascar, and Cameroon. Third place is the Order of Japan, which is Japan and Indonesia. Fourth place is the Order of Qatar, which is Qatar and Oman. Fifth place is Ethiopia's alliance, mostly just Ethiopia, but Tanzania is also in there. Sixth place is the Lebanon League, with Lebanon and Jordan joined by Sweden, trying to hold off the world from conquering the middle. And in last place is Operation Bolivia, which is the entirety of South America banding together, but really having lost a lot of strength after Colombia lost all of that ground to Greenland. And Sweden in a lot of trouble here as Morocco looks to complete the European sweep. And indeed they do. Sweden out of this one once again conquered by Morocco, which is now becoming quite the familiar sound. But Morocco might have bitten off more than they can chew as they continuously have to cede land to Jordan in Eastern Europe. And in big news in the Middle East, Qatar has united into Oman. Oman is now a sole powerhouse and able and looking for a new alliance here. Now, when we look at the leaderboard here, Oman jumps up into fourth place with that move. This could be devastating. Morocco and Cameroon. Oh, Morocco's attacking Cameroon. Ethiopia joins in and they swiftly dispatch Cameroon, what was once a powerhouse here in Africa. Absolutely demolished. Ethiopia and Morocco both sitting on gigantic war chests, of Morocco with 166,000, Ethiopia with 100,000 gold to their name. This time it's Greenland's turn to get bullied around as Bolivia has started to make their way through the Caribbean islands. Now they are getting slowed down by being attacked from Morocco there in the east, but they are still making progress here, gaining most of Cuba before they peace out. Bolivia making a strong push against Greenland, who is down in command points right now. And Jordan and Lebanon have united into one, which means Jordan has, they've united with Oman. That will be a strong power here in the middle. Those two definitely needed each other. But Lebanon forming into Jordan honestly just clears up the borders, as Lebanon had not had any progress since Jordan encapsulated it early on in the game. Treachery is afoot down here in South America as Bolivia has turned on their one-time ally, Colombia, and is looking to take them out and establish themselves as the prime rulers of South America. And indeed they do. They are now the undisputed powerhouse of South America. And here comes Morocco for a little bit of payback against Ethiopia. Morocco has a ton of command efficiency, and Ethiopia did not have any. Looks like they were able to gain a swift amount of land very quickly, kind of pushing their borders back to the original before they started fighting. But it looks like this might be the stalemate here. No, just kidding. Morocco's back from war, has the command efficiency to continue to keep pushing. They are really starting to put it to Ethiopia. If Ethiopia fell, I don't know who could take on Morocco at this point, as they continue to be the strongest by far and away in terms of landmass as well as gold. Ethiopia in a lot of trouble here. They can only hope for peace. That's the only thing saving them. Tanzania trying their best to give them money, but Morocco will not be deterred. They have really pushed back Ethiopia. Ethiopia, a shadow of themselves, with a swift and harsh blow from Morocco. Ethiopia, trying to make up a little bit of the land they lost, declares war on Madagascar with their ally Tanzania, making up some ground here as Madagascar has lost a ton of troops, but not able to make up for the gigantic amount that they did lose to Morocco. But Ethiopia is still able to push down Madagascar a little bit. Wow, wow, wow. Greenland has united into Morocco. Morocco, by far and away, is in first place with 17,000 pixels. Oman is in second place with 4,000. That is the move that very much shakes up the rest of the board. New Zealand has also united into Indonesia, but it's Morocco's game to win or lose right now, as they are sitting on a tremendous war chest of 160,000. And what are they going to do with that? You won't believe it. They're going to attack Ethiopia. Ethiopia in a lot of trouble here. They only have 2 capitals left. Or actually, I take that back, 3 capitals, 2 in close proximity to Morocco's borders, as it looks like Morocco is going to claim 2 of the 3. Down falls 1. Morocco continuing to fight. We'll see how much long Ethiopia can stand. They do have a lot of gold to their name, but it's not doing them a lot of good against the might of Morocco. And indeed, they have lost 1 and are on the verge of losing the second one. They are 1 pixel away from losing their second capital. Tanzania desperately trying to give their ally money, but it's not doing enough, as Morocco is still surely but slowly pushing back Ethiopia. And they do peace out, but Ethiopia is down a lot of land. Now, their only hope is that they've lost so much land that Tanzania and South Africa could potentially join against Morocco. But Morocco is just exploding in gold with 219,000. They have also completely taken out Bolivia and are now pushing down south into South America. Spain has united into Morocco. Everyone is joining Team Morocco except for Jordan, who is trying to fight back. Oman is also fighting Jordan, but Jordan is going to get a ton of land. Oman is going to lose their capital potentially, but Morocco joins the fight against them once again, and Ethiopia and Tanzania and South Africa. A huge world war emerging right here. And Japan, sensing a little bit of blood in the water, has declared war on Oman. Oman's out of troops, and down falls Ethiopia, as Bolivia and Ethiopia both conquered, and Tanzania all conquered by Morocco in quick succession here, as it's all down to South Africa. All their allies are now gone. They're the only hope left to stand up to the might of Morocco. And Morocco has completed the sweep, with Portugal uniting into Morocco, so they own almost the entirety of Africa and what is, the Americas at this point. In other news, Japan has turned on their longtime ally of Indonesia and are really starting to make headway against them as well. And South Africa has joined Paraguay's alliance, so right now it is the entirety of the world versus Morocco and Jordan, as there are only 6 nations remaining. Paraguay, South Africa, Indonesia, Japan, Jordan, and Morocco are all that's left from this 160-player battle. And Jordan is no more. We are down to our top 5, as they have also united into the warrior diplomat that is Morocco. Morocco now owns basically the entirety of the world. There is a few pockets of resistance. We'll see if they're able to do much. But how much gold does Morocco have at this point? 450,000 gold. And Morocco is pushing against Paraguay. Paraguay in a lot of trouble here. This is their only capital they have remaining. They are able to peace out before they lose it all. But Morocco has not been deterred, pushing back South Africa and Japan, as well as taking out Paraguay all at the same time. Paraguay in a lot of trouble here. They are out of command points, and here comes Morocco knocking on their door, and down falls Paraguay. Morocco claiming another victim, and it looks like it is a fate that is also going to come to South Africa, as they are completely out of gold here. Morocco has joined the Japan Union. Who's in the Japan Union? Everyone's in the Japan Union. And Morocco looks to be the diplomat before they are the warrior, uniting with South Africa and Japan. The only one standing is Indonesia, who is still allied to Morocco, and they also unite into Morocco. Morocco, in record time, the year 2475, is your champion today. Good job to Morocco. And as we do start to wrap things up, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made this fun episode. If you have made this fun episode, hey, give it a thumbs up. Really helps out a lot. If you're new around here, subscribe for more. I put up videos every day. But boys, I will see you in the next one. And a special thank you to all of my members, with a shout out to producers Chris, Mitchell, Dorker or Not, Serious Potato, Antic Serpa. Executive producers Miskits, The Mallard, Noob, Rex, A137 in my element, Mason / Aurelius, Morwin, BB, Ratsuka, Robert, Sakari Scarlet, Rob Coleman, Uther Ekana, Tomato TG, Brock Lowry, Ogan Gabriel, Demented, and Chickens. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.